Strange people. On the outskirts of an old town, a certain street narrows into a lane and continues on into the country. A little way along this path stands a huge elm tree, and not far from the tree are the crumbling foundations of a house. The place has long been neglected, and the trees and brush are so thick that no one has been near the place for years. The spot that once had been a rose garden is quite overgrown with a tangled mass of thorny rose bushes, which no person would care to enter. But, strange as it may seem, a neat village stands in the middle of this wild thicket. It is a small village, and the few houses are very tiny. One particular house is made from a man's shoe. A second story has been added to the shoe, a front porch extends out over the toe, and tiny windows no bigger than a postage stamp let light and air into the little house. At the heel of the shoe, a kitchen has been built on, in which stands a small cook stove. Tiny cooking pans hang on the wall, some of them so small that they would barely hold 2 or 3 drops of water. On a shelf around the room stand soup bowls, dishes, and cups that have been made from cherry seeds. There are several large cooking pots made from the metal tops of ketchup bottles or olive jars, and in those big pots, a whole lima bean can be boiled with ease. In the main part of the house, there are tiny rugs, chairs, and beds. There are no springs on the beds, but they are very soft and comfortable, for the mattresses are stuffed with thistledown. The bed covers are woven from spider webs, and they are especially light and warm. From this shoe house, paths lead under the towering rose bushes and over the soft moss. One path leads to a vacuum coffee can in which many tiny tools are stored. Here, furniture is built and all the necessary things are made for this little village. Another path leads to a schoolhouse in Town Hall. The hall has been made from a man's hat, which has been covered with waterproof paint. This building sits on the edge of a 2-inch hill. A set of steps leads up and across the rim of the hat to the door. There are several windows around the hat, which let plenty of light into this large place. At night, the hall is lit with lamps made from acorns, which burn oil. Back of the town hall and just a little east of the shoe house stands an old teapot. Here, the village laundry is done. Another path leads to the root cellar or storehouse. This cellar is built under a 6-inch hill. A double door leads into the cellar, and here the little village stores all the food that is necessary to carry it through a long winter. The people who live in this village are very small. The tallest one stands 2.5 inches in his stocking feet, but the average height is just about as tall as a common safety match. Here, just the same as big people, there are men, women, and children. The babies, of course, are very tiny. Half a peanut shell makes a very good cradle for the village babies. The general is the head of the village. He is very kindly and much beloved by all the little people. The doctor looks after the health of the community. The old soldier, who has a wooden leg, is a fine mechanic, and the Turk is his best helper. The policeman spends most of his time chasing pinching bugs away from the village and keeping a watchful eye on the dunce. The dunce is not a bad boy, but he is full of mischief, and he often does very foolish things. The cook prepares the food for the village. He is an excellent cook. One of his baked, smoked frog hams is something to which the whole village looks forward to. The Chinaman lives in the old teapot and does the village washing. The lady of fashion is a very dainty little woman. She always dresses with care, is a wonderful seamstress, and does most of the village mending. The cowboy is an expert mouseback rider, and he loves to mount a large bucking grasshopper. The sailor spends a great deal of his time on the water with his pea-pod canoe. Go-Go, the little colored boy, is a good tailor and a fine cook. There are other men and women too, and all these little folk live very happily in this small village. Being such tiny people, they are very careful to keep out of the way of big folk, just as we would be careful to keep away from people who were as tall as office buildings. For this reason, very few big people have ever seen these strange little folk, who are called the Teenie Weenies.
So friends, how did you like our little world? We have many more stories to tell about our world in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.